Well, hello, and welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger on June 9, 2022. As usual, when I got up this morning, I took a quick look and try to see if there's any special holiday and special theme I can use for Toy Thursday today. And unfortunately, other than it being my brother's birthday, there's really nothing all that special about today. Nothing toy worthy in any case. However, I just happened to take a look at yesterday, and yesterday was Brain Tumor Awareness Day. I didn't even know that that's such a thing, Brain Tumor Awareness Day, but that really touched a chord with me, Brain Tumor Awareness Day, because uh, I I don't believe I have mentioned this, but my own brother, my older brother, whose birthday is either today or yesterday, I can't really remember. Well, yeah, I know that sounds totally ridiculous, but me and my brothers have not spoken to each other for over 10 years, and I know my younger brother and older brother's birthday. One of them on June 8th, one of them on June 9th, but because I haven't spoken to them for so long, I can't remember which one is which. But anyway, my older brother David actually has a tumor growing in his brain, and it's been there for the last 7 years at least. And it's basically something that should be operated on, but he's too scared to go through with the surgery, and it's just sitting there like a time bomb. So, we don't know what's going to happen with that. In addition to that, I also have other run-ins with uh, people around me having brain tumors in the past, and uh, one of the person closest to my heart had issue with brain tumor growing up. I'm not going to give the name just in case they don't want me to divulge that information on video in public. I think that is really up to them to tell people. So I'll just say one of the people closest to my heart had issue with brain tumor when they were teenager. Um, and I had used to have a friend who's passed away now. Uh, she lost her mobility and a lot of her intellect and bodily function. Again, due to a brain tumor when she was a teenager, she managed to live until 24, I believe, and then she uh, unfortunately passed away. So yeah, as I said, brain tumor, scary stuff. So even though I never heard of a brain tumor awareness day, I am glad that there is one. And to honor that day, we are going to surprise show an action figure that uh, it's a character that had brain tumor before. Now, unfortunately, it is not a nice character. I don't have a superhero or a beautiful lady that related to this day. The character I'm going to show you today for Brain Tumor Awareness Day, unfortunately, is not a good guy. It's nowhere near any kind of a good guy. It's actually kind of a insanely disturbing character, uh, if truth be told. However, he is the only character that I could dig up in my collection that have actually did have brain tumor before. So just for that, I think we're going to take a look at this disturbingly uh, murderous and insane villain by the name of Lester, or as some of you would know him better by the name of Bullseye. The man that would later become known as Bullseye, one of the deadliest assassins in the world, grew up by the name of Lester. No one really knows what his last name was. One of the accounts of the story says that Lester grew up in the Bronx with his brother and his extremely abusive alcoholic father. Some rumor also say that Lester's mother was a prostitute, but that has never been confirmed. But either way, the story goes that when Lester was a child, he set fire to his father's house by using a toy arrow to set off a handgun. Um, Later, his father was found to have been put in jail, but this is a story for a little bit later. Anyway, growing up, Lester was an underperforming student in school. However, he had an innate talent. Lester was one of the best marksmen in the world. Like, it's not really quite a superpower, but he could hit anything he was aiming at. He had the best aim. Like, he's known as the man who never misses. After school, he became a baseball player and was playing in a minor league baseball. But during one of the games, when one of the batters from the opposing team taunted him, calling him a coward, Lester threw the baseball at the batter's head. Now, remember when I just said that this is a guy who always hit whatever he throws at, whatever he aims at. He never misses. Okay, so when he threw the ball at the batter's head, it killed the guy. It killed the batter on the opposing team. While walking off the field, Lester, who has just committed a murder, said a single word. Under his breath, he said, "Bullseye." Because of his cold and calculating demeanor and his propensity for murdering people with any kind of object that he can throw at them, he soon got recruited to be an assassin for the United States National Security Agency and was sent to uh, Nicaragua to take down some drug operation there. But while he was there, he double crossed the United States and went rogue and set up shop for himself and tried to sell drugs to major criminal organizations to make money. And this was, as far as we know, Bullseye's first encounter with a superhero. While he was setting up his drug deal, he got taken down by the Punisher, and they had a really fierce battle in which Bullseye actually got the upper hand on the Punisher. And this is quite something because when we talk about Bullseye, Bullseye is he doesn't have like special forces training. He's not like a super big guy. He's not like a guy who got superpower. Well, I mean, other than the thing where he can hit whatever he aims at. Uh, but other than that, he's just normal dude. And yet, he was able to get the upper hand on someone who's so scary like the Punisher, and walk away with that. Later, now working on the street as a high assassin for hire, the man now known as Bullseye work sign on to work for one of the biggest criminal overlords, the Kingpin. Uh, while working for the Kingpin, he had his run-in against his longtime nemesis, Daredevil. At this point, it's where the connection of Bullseye and our Brain Tumor Awareness Day started to emerge. Because Bullseye became more and more irrational, he became more and more insane. He started to murder random, innocent people, thinking he was killing Daredevil. Everyone started to look like Daredevil to him. And during this part of the story, we learned that Bullseye had a brain tumor growing in his head. Then this is why he's so deranged, he's so crazy. And one day, the brain tumor got so bad that he actually passed out on the railroad track. But just as the train was about to run him over, Daredevil appeared and saved him. But rather than thanking Daredevil, Bullseye believed that this shamed him to be saved by his rival. So he went on murdering people and always trying to kill Daredevil. Eventually, the brain tumor was successfully removed from Bullseye's head, and then you would think that this would cure him of his insanity, but instead, it just made him even more homicidal. After he recovered, he got out of the hospital. But then he realized around this point that while he was out of action, the Kingpin hired another assassin to replace him. This assassin was Daredevil's longtime girlfriend, Elektra, who was a trained ninja. Now, Elektra's backstory is very complicated, so we're not going to go into that. We'll just say Elektra is, like one of the uh, most skilled ninja warrior at that time, and she was great with her sword and dagger, and like just like a really badass ninja chick. And she had a thing for Daredevil, and sometimes they were friends, sometimes they were lovers, sometimes they were enemies. And Elektra was also quite insane. Like she's prone to do some really impulsive, crazy things, like driving a car off a cliff and then jump out of the car at the last minute, or throwing herself off the top of a building just for fun and stuff like that. Like, yeah, Electra is that kind of like when I say crazy girls are a lot of fun, yeah, that's Electra. She was definitely kind of crazy, and she was also a very skilled assassin. So Bullseye definitely wasn't going to have any of that, hearing that, what, the Kingpin hired a woman to replace me. So he tracked down Elektra and fought her, and after a fierce battle, Bullseye threw one of Elektra's own blades back at her. And yeah, remember the part where we said Bullseye never misses? He killed her. Yeah, like one of the best ninja warrior in the world, like trained her whole life to to kill people, got killed with her own blade because Bullseye threw it back at her. So anyway, yeah, he killed her, and then he went and tried to assassinate Daredevil again. And this time, Daredevil was so angry because yeah, Bullseye just killed his girlfriend, and they ended up fighting and ended up on the both of them ended up standing balanced on a telephone wire overhanging the city, and Bullseye slipped and was going to fall to his death, but Daredevil reached down and tried to be the good guy, tried to be the guy with the big heart and tried to grab his arm and save him. Uh, but Bullseye didn't want to be saved by Daredevil again because he got saved by Daredevil once already and it was embarrassing. So he decided to try to stab Daredevil while Daredevil was trying to save him. So Daredevil say, okay, F this, just go die already. So Daredevil let go, and Bullseye fell to the ground level, fell to the street, and broke like every bone in his body. So you would think, okay, that's it, that's the end of Bullseye, but nope. Apparently, other than being the guy who just can't miss, hit whatever he aims at, Bullseye is very, very tenacious. Like he's very, very strong-willed. Even falling down from that height, breaking every bone in his body, didn't kill him. He ended up in the hospital, and later he was sent to Japan to be experimented on by a scientist by the name of Lord Darkwind. Lord Darkwind then bonded Bullseye's skeleton with adamantium. Uh, for those of you who don't follow comic book, adamantium is basically the toughest metal, one of the toughest metal in Marvel universe. It's a material that they make Wolverine's claws out of, and it's said to be super hard to break. And so now we have the uh, recovered Bullseye, uh, fatter and madder and more insane than before, and just as deadly, but this time his skeleton's reinforced with this adamantium metal. So yeah, now the guy is pretty much a cyborg. Returning to his criminal ways, the now recovered Bullseye decided that the first person he's going to assassinate is none other than his own abusive father, who was serving a sentence in the penitentiary at this point. So Bullseye got himself arrested and put in the same penitentiary that his father was at. And while he was being booked in and put into prison, he provoked one of the guards into beating him up. Now, why did he do that? Because, well, while you are being booked, they take away all your weapons. So Bullseye at this point was unarmed. He didn't have anything he could use as a weapon to kill his dad with. So he devised this very crazy plan. He provoked one of the guards into beating him so bad that one of his own teeth fell out. And just without one tooth, Bullseye was able to kill all the guards and got into the prison system, found his dad and killed his dad, and then got out. Just without one tooth. This is how crazy the guy is. Anything in his hand becomes deadly weapon because he can throw anything and kill people with whatever he's throwing. By the way, let me say this really quick. I'm using a different angle and using a new tripod today for Toy Thursday, so maybe someone can give me some feedback if this looks okay, if the old ones look better, and stuff like that. Okay? If it looks awful, we'll do something about it. Anyway, back to Bullseye. So after killing his dad, he went back to New York and tried to reclaim his title as being the top assassin, the best assassin in the world. And then just a lot of repetition, killing people, committing crime, being put in jail, escaping, put in jail again, escaping. Uh, Bullseye, by this point, had run in with a lot of superheroes. He fought Captain America, Daredevil, the Punisher, uh, American Eagle. I don't know who that is actually, American Eagle, but it's on his the roster of people that he's battled to this point. He's also fought Crossbones and Baron Zemo and many other famous superheroes that people know about. And that, my friend, is basically the story of this relatively minor league super criminal. But even though he is minor league, he is very, very impressive. Uh, Let me quickly run down why I think this guy is pretty impressive. Even though he is a murdering backstabbing, sneaky bastard of a character. First, I think it quite crazy that Bullseye have had run in with people like Spider-Man, Daredevil, the Punisher, and Captain America, and every single time he managed to survive the encounter and kept on coming back for more. I mean, like I said, this guy, until his skeleton enhancement, was just a normal guy. He's not even that big. I mean, if you look at him, this guy is like kind of scrawny, really not no bigger than what would be a very fit, average-sized, lean person. He doesn't look like he go to the gym or stuff like that. He looked like someone who maybe do a lot of push-ups and chin-ups and run 5 miles a day. So he's kind of a very fit-looking, average-sized guy, and his only possible superpower is that he can throw things with uncanny accuracy. That's it. That's it. I mean, so for him to have been able to survive encounters against some of the toughest superheroes out there, like you know, Daredevil is one of the best hand-to-hand fighters. Captain America is an enhanced super soldier. The Punisher, I mean, come on, the Punisher kills people. The Punisher just like go around and murder any criminal that pisses him off. And Spider-Man is just like a completely different league as far as superhero goes. He got the like super strength and super speed and all that stuff. Now Bullseye is able to tangle with all these guys and still be alive and kicking. So that is one thing that I find quite intriguing about this character. But more than that, what makes this character kind of interesting is how strong-willed he is. I mean, this guy has got messed up, seriously messed up multiple times. First, surviving a brain tumor. After getting the brain tumor removed, now most people I know that have brain tumor removed end up with long-lasting damage, either mentally or emotionally or physically. Now Bullseye, he came back worse than ever and uh, kept on doing what he wanted to do. And this is another thing. This character, from beginning to end, his motive is very straightforward. He wants to be the best assassin in the world, the deadliest assassin in the world. And as long as you don't get in his way, as long as no one paying him to kill you or you don't try to contest that, it's fine. Otherwise, he's going to do everything he can to kill you. Unless you're Daredevil. If you're Daredevil, he's just going to kill you because, you know, he's holding a grudge about Daredevil saving his life. Yeah, okay, that just sounds really weird. Anyway, so he survived the brain tumor and came back worse than ever, and then he survived being dropped from a high rise, from a telephone wire down to street level, having all his bones broken. He survived that and came back with a skeletal enhancement. And there has been other traumas too. That there's one story arc where he was fighting Daredevil and then he got thrown into the street and got smashed by a truck. And then there again, he stayed in the hospital for a long time and then came back again, as good as before. So this is a guy who just would never stay down. No matter what happened to him, brain tumor, accident, being dropped from high places, he keep on getting back up. Now let's look at the action figure itself. This action figure is quite old. This was made by Toy Biz in their Marvel Legends line in around 2004 in, I believe, Series 7 of their Marvel Legends line. And at the time, I mean, if you compare him to figures today, he is still quite good. But at the time when he was released, he was awesome. I mean, talk about a super articulated action figure. As I was telling his story, I've been changing his pose, and you guys can already tell how many poses he can do. He can squat down with and just squat there with his chin resting on his hand. He can stand in some really cool martial art poses. There's just so many things. Everything that should move on the human body can move on this guy, and even things that shouldn't move on the human body move on this guy. Yeah, even his fingers are individually articulated. The only finger that is not articulated is his thumb, but the other four fingers are articulated, so he can uh, do the peace sign. He can do the finger shooting, gun shooting gesture. He can give the birdie. He can even imitate Spider-Man's web shooting hand gesture. The figure is primarily black with a dark blue wash and white or gray stripes. He has a mask over part of his face, and on his forehead there's like some circles painted on it. I believe in the comic book he had a bullseye tattooed onto his forehead. But then later, when he pissed off Daredevil really, really bad, Daredevil took a piece of rock and carved the bullseye right into his forehead. Uh, wow, that just sounds really sadistic for something a superhero would do. But yeah, bullseye is really annoying. He killed. I can't remember two or three Daredevil's girlfriend. So yeah, I can totally see why Daredevil was so angry at him. Even the zippers and wrinkles on this figure's gloves and boots are sculpted and detailed. You see, zippers are painted silver, and yeah, it looked really, really cool. I mean, nowadays, a lot of action figures, their gloves and boots are just painted on without extra sculpted details. But this guy, yeah, the sculptural details are all there. Even though this figure doesn't come with any accessory, because Bullseye has always been the kind of guy that he doesn't really need to carry anything. I mean, the guy can kill a whole bunch of prison guards just with one of his own tooth that was knocked out of his mouth. I mean, yeah, he doesn't really need to carry any weapon. Uh, and also because of how articulated his hands are, you can give him almost any weapon from other action figures to hold. Before we end the video, we are going to I'm going to illustrate that with a couple of accessories from my little accessory box, where a lot of random guns and other weapons and pieces go. Uh, but even though he doesn't come with any accessory, he has pouches and holsters sculpted on his around his waist and on his leg, like he's carrying a lot of deadly weapons. And here is Bullseye posing with a scoped rifle, shooting from the hip. He doesn't really need to use the scope. The guy can hit whatever he wants to hit without using anything like that anyway. Here we have Bullseye with a pistol in his outer hand, gangster style. And here is Bullseye winding up with a ninja weapon, ready to throw it back at whatever pesky ninja that's ready to dare to challenge him. And last but not least, Bullseye here is holding the circular blade of a chainsaw, ready to throw it at somebody. So there you have it, our brain tumor survivor, in honor of Brain Tumor Awareness Day. Like I said, unfortunately, turned out to be an evil bastard, but hey, it's quite a crazy and interesting character, and the action figure itself is very versatile, very articulated, and overall a really, really well made figure, even though it was made almost 20 years ago. Thank you for checking out today's Toy Thursday. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Fitness Friday.